What's going on, everyone? Bad news. Jeff couldn't make it, but good news is Fraser's replacing him. Just kidding. Just kidding. What's going on, everyone? What we got rolling through? Jeff will be here in a minute. He's just getting set up and such. Let's see. Jake Holmes. Hey, I'm here. Good old James. What's up, James? Fucking Joe. Lilith. What's up, gang? The maniacs from down under. We got Asha, Spirit World, here to lurk and listen. He's lurking and jerking tonight. All right, who else? We got fucking Matt, Bloodstone, and we got Crawling and Vomits. Harsh, harsh. Danny, there he is, the one and only King Fraser. Fucking JD. What's going on, JD? Cool to see you, dude. And just Bay Area's finest. Oh no, Necro Packer was Baphometic Fanny Packer. He usually has Thursday nights, and he didn't have he had, for whatever reasons, he didn't go on last night. And Dylan says, why don't you take his slot? And I was like, okay. So I did it like a show, like a imitation, and of course way exaggerated. It's not that over the top, but yeah, man, fucking did that shit last night. It was funny. Oh, dude, a dead by dog. All fucked up. Dead by dog. Dead by dog. So coming up in San Antonio, dude. It's been fucking drought city around here, but we got some shows coming by, dude. Rest in peace, dog. Hey, I also want to say send some positive vibes out to Matt Hernandez, not my brother-in-law Matt Hernandez, the other Matt Hernandez from here in town. He's played in a lot of bands like Accelerate and shit, man. He was in I think he was in. Was he in Cheese Grater for a hot? No, he wasn't in Cheese Grater. But he jams with Dennis all the time. The old hot drummer. He's in bad shape. He was found unconscious, and it's pretty rough. So send some positive vibes out to good old Matt Hernandez. I'm not real good friends with him, but I've seen the dude around for like 20 plus years. We know what's up. Give each other what's up. He's a cool dude. Fucking sucks to hear this shit, man. San Antonio's fucking having a rough one with the metalheads lately. Yeah, man. Who knows? Yeah, Matt can play bass, dude. Matt can fucking play bass. He's a good bassist. All right. But anyway, back to the shows that are coming through. Check this out, man. It's pretty fucking stacked this month. So, starting things off with some heavy fucking duty shit. Let me get the banner out of the way for him a second. Look at that shit. On June 7th, Hexea, Pius Levis, ETD, and the Cutthroats at High Tones on June 7th. Already, like, setting the fucking tone early. And then, when is this one? The next one is, I believe, June 20th. Spear Siege. That's our boy Jake in the chat. Just released their new demo. And a bunch of black metal bands. Name them, Jake. Because it's a bunch of shit. Necron don't know. Poser alert. But I know Spear Siege. So you send me your fucking flyers, man. I'll post them. That's how this works. And then they get them out of order. Oh, the next night. The new place, Old Deaf Cafe on Calabar Road. We got Lord Humongous, the fucking Wasteland Warriors. And then you got Mordant Red, the Barnyard Warriors. Then you got Infuriator and Spectral Omen, the 21st. So busy month coming up with fucking shows here in town. Good shit, man. Good shit. Oh no. What is Fraser saying? We had an issue at work today. Somebody passed out on the street. I was actually seeing somebody got hit by a car, or it was close to getting hit by a car. Well, that sucks, Frazier. Fucking Fridays. Here we go. Here's that full lineup: Fluxus Mortis, Divine Void, Nocturnal Onslaught, and Hot Don, and Spear Siege. Woo! Bobby Blitz, you're here to eliminate posers. Start with this guy right here, that Frazier guy. Get him! Eliminate him, man! Eliminate him! Multiple opportunities to fight. Probably so. We'll see what happens. Like I said, I was just waiting for Jeff to get here. I might play one of his jams just to get started. Or, here, I'll do a little bitching hour while we wait for Jeff to show up. A little bitching from Necron. Fucking went to Bill Miller. And for all y'all don't know, that's like a fast food barbecue joint here in San Antonio. So, I get a grilled chicken sandwich, or a grilled poor boy is what they're calling it now. Whatever. And we're there waiting, we paid, and we're just waiting like, man, it's kind of taking a while. Then they come to the window, and they're like, did they tell you there was a wait on chicken? And we're like, no. And they're like, yeah, it's going to be like another 5 to 10 minutes. I'm like, jeez, it's already been like fucking 5 minutes at the window plus. I go, okay, well, we'll just take brisket. They're like, okay. So we're waiting. We're waiting. And they come back. Oh, we got to slice the brisket. Can you go park out front and we'll bring it out to you? I'm like, Jesus, fuck. Come on, man. Get it together. Of course, nobody is, no spaces up front. And the only parking is kind of on the side in the back. So, we park fucked up, we're just like, fuck it. We get our food, which should have been, I don't know, man, 5 minutes. It ended up being like fucking 20 minutes at Bill Miller's from the window. That was some bullshit. And then to top it fucking off, I woke up with fucking common diarrhea at 4 a.m. Fuck you, Bill Miller. Fuck me over. Pissed off, but your tea's always good. Whatever, there's no Bobby Blessing here. Bobby Blessing. There you go. Nobody Bobby Blitz. It's him, dude. It's Bobby Blitz. He's really here, Frazier. Look, he's even fucking trolling the dog. Hey, fucking good thing you made it to Vegas, dude. Ah, man. Yes, dude, Bill Miller. Fucking ridiculous. 5 minutes too long. Free Molotov cocktail would have ruled. I should have bagged my fucking crap for them and threw it on their fucking window. Alright. Enough of this nonsense. Let's bring the guest of honor on. He has arrived. Here we go. What's up, Jeff? What's going on, man?
Back again. Thanks for having me.
Hey, man. Thanks for coming on. So, let's just hop right into it, dude. How did this tour come together? What was the who put this together, or what's the story?
I'm trying to adjust this so I don't look completely pasty. It was kind of, it's so weird because I didn't plan it this way, but for those of you who have long memories or at least pay attention to my history, way back when we did a tour with Watain and Secrets of the Moon in Germany, not starting in Germany, but we did like 11 dates over there back in 2003. And we put that tour together ourselves. We didn't have a production company, a booking agent, anything. We just completely did it on our own. The 3 bands, we each had an RV, and Watain just had a Volkswagen van. And we just went, fuck this, we're going to do it. And we just traveled all over the mainland and played shows. And it was really, really underground,
That's super underground.
This is before Watain was a big name. You
Yeah, they
know,
were an underground band. Yeah,
it was
all you
kind of
guys were.
it was a debut for all three bands, really. And I guess the thing that's remarkable about it is it's not completely dissimilar to how we formed this alliance with BaxXX. We had met them at DTF. Of course, the singer Traumatic is also, everybody knows him as Patrick from Iron Bonehead. So he's been around for a long, long time and very important in the European underground, great label. And when they reformed, that was, I mean, let's get back to the whole history. BaxXX, if you don't know, they were basically kind of an offshoot of the band Ungod.
Yeah.
And they only released one EP back in, I think, 1991. And it was really cool. And they just split with Ungod with that. And then they just stopped, just completely. And Ungod went forward and did a couple of things, and then they stopped. And then Ungod got back together and played Destroying Texas Fest, which was a big, big deal. That, you know, Carlos really made that happen. And then Carlos apparently was really instrumental in getting BaxXX back out there. Yeah, back that ass up. We made that joke many times on the tour.
Yes.
I also at one point wanted to I was jokingly wanting to complain about something, and I told them I wanted to speak to the manager. So yeah, stupid shit. And, you know, we'd go into the backstage, they'd have like the spread for the bands, and we go, oh, look, they have bananas, you know. Yeah. So anyway,
yeah, with a name like that, the jokes are endless. I mean, you know,
yeah,
it is what it is. Whatever.
It's full on Lovecraft, and it's I love it because it's arcane, and the band itself is arcane. It's from the old era, you know.
Yeah.
So it really captures it. Anyway, they came into their first show ever at DTF, and they were great.
That was their first show?
It was their first show ever.
Damn.
Yep.
I witnessed that one. I saw
yeah. And it was really cool, and I was really impressed. And since then, they built out the lineup more completely. You know, they're now a proper 5-piece with a keyboardist. They didn't have that the first time. They just had the theremin. You know, if you guys don't know what a theremin is, it's the wave thing that goes woo, woo, woo. You know, they use it like a Joker. That was Joker.
Yeah, from that show. The fucking badass Bible tosser.
Yes.
Did I ever show you that? You seen that video, right? That he gave me where there was a guy taping and he tossed the fucking Bible from the stage, like. And you see it come into the camera.
No, I didn't see that.
Yeah,
at all.
I need to find that. I used to have it as one of my things on here. But anyway, yeah.
Right on.
Yeah. Anyway, that's awesome.
So,
story, but that's great.
Yeah. No, I didn't know about that.
Yeah.
So, in short order, I mean, BaxXX, they did a proper reformation. They then put out an EP, and then now they've got 2 albums. I think they did 2 EP. Well, no, yeah, just 1 EP and then 2 albums, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
And if you haven't checked them out yet, you've got to.
Oh yeah, they're so cool.
If you like authentic black metal, like no bullshit, no nods to any current trends, no pandering, none of that. It is
from the old scene.
And they're all a bunch of old guard dudes who've been in it since those days. So, I mean, it's the real deal. Anyway, we just got talking with them about playing shows. And, well, okay, let me back it up. Imprecation got invited over by this one production company to do some shows, primarily starting in Italy. And ultimately, just for a lot of different reasons, we were just looking at it. We tried to get BaxXX involved on that side. And BaxXX already had a production company that worked with them called Abyssal Booking. And they said, why don't we just use our company? You know, and we're like, oh, okay. And they had an idea. And it was Patrick and those guys, Patrick primarily, Traumatic, the singer of BaxXX, who put it together and made it all happen with the help of Abyssal Booking. Right. So if it wasn't for them, none of this would have happened. The thing that I realized, I didn't really think about it in an active way until we actually hit the stage together. And I realized, I was like, oh man, what a statement this is, because we've got 2 bands that formed right around the same time, like 91, 92 era, who then went dormant and then have come back in a much more built out form since then. And now we're back doing this like we always were back then. It was kind of like almost like, you know how like they have those Hellfire Preachers, those tent revivals. It almost felt, in a way, it almost felt like that, but for black and death metal. You know, it's like, for, you know, forget what you know about Frozen Cones and you know, hair transplantation or whatever band you're
hair transplantation.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Because those guys need some. I'm telling you. I've never seen one.
You know, I'm gonna bust on my Colorado friends right now. It's just, you know, they just need a little more testosterone in their life.
Yeah.
You know,
but yeah, I've never seen a more spectacular display of male pattern baldness
in young men.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, busting your balls, Colorado, Denver, we're busting your balls.
They deserve it. Just Denver fucking sucks.
I have a certain friend, and you met him on tour.
Yeah.
He won't even listen from bands from Denver.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Yeah. He's like, nope, not doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't dig it.
Wow.
Anyway.
Okay. Anyway.
But that was the thing. The whole tour was just, I mean, we didn't label it like this, but it was implicit that it was like anti-trend. And basically, it didn't have an angle. It was just two old bands, neither of which had actually, it turns out, I didn't know this, but neither band, oh, hi, thank you. You're very welcome. You're so welcome. I am pleased to announce that we are finally bringing another cat home. You might.
Oh, okay, that's good, dude.
Yeah,
good.
Next month she's coming to us. We found her, so
right.
I'll be showing her off on episodes in the future. I'm looking forward to that.
Yes, that'll be great.
But anyway, the whole thing was done kind of like just putting our heads together and doing it, and then having Abyssal, you know, book the dates, and they did a great job. We played. We did the normal thing where we played a warm-up show in Germany that was not bad, but underwhelming, because I've got news for everybody. Despite what it looks like is going on over there, playing just regular dates in Germany is always boring. I mean, I appreciate that people come out. I don't want that to be misinterpreted. I'm grateful for them.
Yeah,
but
for sure.
The shows are always underwhelming. It was when we played with Watain. The shows that were the most underattended and the most kind of just lackluster, they're always in Germany because they're so fucking spoiled, and they're basically like festival dependent. You know, they don't. You know,
yeah,
Friday,
they are kind of spoiled on that, aren't they?
Yeah, they really are.
But
so
no, I ain't gonna go to a regular show. I'm just gonna go to this festival.
Yeah, so I'll just walk through the whole thing. We played a pub in a small town called Bad Tolz, which is northern Germany. Very pretty little town, actually. Very, storybook and very historic. Nice. And then we basically just set up in the corner of this pub and played the first show. And I mean, it went great. I mean, it was great opportunity to warm up, actually, because it was really low pressure. I mean, it's probably like, 40 people. I mean, not that bad. So I'm the opposite. I'd much rather hit a smaller show than a fest. Yeah, I mean, I'm not a big.
Me too.
Yeah. The thing that's worth mentioning is that most of the nights it was just us and Baxaxa. Baxaxa went on, then we went on. We're talking about we basically played an hour apiece. So you're talking about a 2-hour show, which kind of worked in our favor because a lot of the shows, we were starting on like a Thursday night, but then we had to make it all through the next week up to going to SteelFest. So we were really worried, like, oh, Monday's going to be bad and Tuesday's going to be bad and stuff like that. But I think the fact that people knew their time wasn't going to be wasted with some local opener or an overstuffed, mini fest or anything like that, it really, really worked in our favor. And I thought it was such a great kind of solipsistic statement where it's just us and them. That's what you get. We're not gonna try to massage this and puff it up any more than it needs to. It's just Imprecation, Baxaxa. If you don't want that, then just don't fucking come out. you know.
Pretty much, yeah. I mean, I like that attitude too. Sometimes, so let's be honest. A lot of times, the bands that get on the bill aren't really bringing anything to the table.
Precisely.
So
And
let's fucking just get to the fucking the main course of the meal. Come on.
yeah. And I mean, I felt it was so great too because I was wondering if there was going to be like a visible division in the fan bases at all, death metal versus black metal. But I think everybody who showed up came in the spirit of the thing, where it was just they were there for all of it. Like the crowd didn't thin out after Bax played, or people didn't wait outside until we played. It wasn't like that at all, despite the fact that it was very much a old school black metal band and an old school death metal band. Everybody wanted to hear all of it, and I thought that was really special. It's not like now where people are so siloed, and again, goat whore fans are only goat whore fans. And they don't listen to
I
anything
know what you
else.
mean by that.
You know what I'm I mean, it's just one band of many, but we toured with Goat Whore and went, oh man, Goat Whore fans are only Goat Whore fans.
That's really true.
Yeah.
And I mean, and Goat Whore will say this. Goat Whore will say this themselves, that they know that underground fans aren't really into them.
Yeah, it goes the other way too.
Yeah, I mean, I understand me saying like, I don't know, man. It just don't seem like the underground are like into Goat Whore. I don't know, and I don't know really either, because I do like their first two albums. I think they're really good. But I know what you mean. Yeah, they have their own fan base. Because you go to a Goat Whore show, you will not see those people at any other metal shows.
No.
I'm like, who the fuck are these people? I've never seen them.
It's like that with maggot stomp bands, all that type of OSDM stuff. It's a bunch of kids in hoodies and knit hats who don't go to any other death metal or black metal shows.
Yeah.
I was really pleased that, I mean, it kind of stands to reason, but the hipster quotient in Europe is like about 0 in the underground. You don't see it, everybody's, there's like no mustache thrashers, not the way you see it here. Nobody with the Viper sunglasses, any of that horse shit.
Trendy things.
Yeah, just dudes with long hair and leather jackets, the way it's always been, just up front raging. And I mean, it was really kind of refreshing, and it was something I needed more than I realized, just going back over there after so many years of not performing over there, and just seeing that it hadn't changed that much, and that spirit was alive still. I can't say enough about Bax. I thought they were brilliant. Really, really cool guys, all business when it came to making things go, and just a great band. I was a fan of them before, and there's nothing cooler than getting to go out with a band that you're already a fan of. What I mean?
Yeah, that's the best.
Yeah. So, I mean, yeah, we did that with Marduk, with Hod, and that was a great time. So you just can't go wrong. And
Oranor.
That ruled so hard. I could have done. I've said it before on here. I could have done like 40 dates of that.
Dude, imagine.
That would have sold amazingly. Think if we'd made it to
LA.
only
if that could have happened.
Mm-hmm.
We got to tour the whole U.S. with that.
Yeah,
lineup.
That was ridiculous. It was so good. Anyway, so yeah, we played a lot of interesting places. It was funny because the tour didn't go to a lot of major cities. Like we didn't play Berlin, and we didn't play, I don't know, like Hamburg or anything like that. We did play Prague. That was cool. That was a Tuesday night, and still people showed up. That was really great.
Hell yeah.
Vienna was fantastic. We played on a Monday there, and it was packed. I mean,
nice.
We couldn't believe it. We were just holding our breaths. I think the way, if you guys are out there, any of you are like starting to play or tour or whatever, the easiest way to get through it is to anticipate like the worst possible scenario. Like just visualize the room empty, nobody showing up. And then no matter what happens, it's still going to be better than that.
That's kind of my attitude basically towards anything now. So I'm never disappointed. Just expect the worst. And then, it's not so bad. It might
Yeah.
be better. Yeah.
But we showed up and loaded in, and then I took a walk outside, and I realized there was a line of people going down the street. I'm like, holy fuck,
Fuck
I was
yeah.
like, and I was looking at the club going, I hope it's not like there's some kind of dance club in here on the first floor, and they were just going to that.
Right.
No, they were
clubs.
They showed up for us, and man, they were Vienna was awesome. We were so pleased with that. I don't want to talk it to death too quickly because we got songs to play and stuff.
Yeah, sure.
I wanted to kick it off if you have the link. I'll talk about it in a minute, but I wanted to go ahead and throw a track on from the band Eurynomos.
Oh hell yeah!
They opened.
Let me cue it up for you.
Yeah.
Oh man, you got to play with them too on a regular show.
Yeah, I'll tell you about that.
Okay, yeah,
let's fire it up.
Yeah, they're a regular on my fucking show.
Oh, awesome! Yeah, they're great. So let's celebrate them right now.
Let me just get things queued up real quick.
Yeah.
Hold on, it's all right. Let me share this screen real quick. Here we go, Jameson Eurynomos. All right, there you go, dude.
Yeah.
So let's hear about this show with Eurynomos, man.
Yeah, we played in Como, Italy, and it was part of like a small fest called Journey into Darkness. And we were so excited because there's a couple of smaller bands that were on the bill also, but then the band that went on right before Box Saxo was Eurynomos.
Oh, nice.
Never seen them live, and they ripped, man. They were so good. If you're not familiar with the band, it's the original singer from Disaster.
Yeah.
And The Colto, and then also um, oh, sorry, I'm just blanking.
It happens to
Um,
me, bro.
Costas, who runs Iron Pegasus Records on guitar, and
Yes, that's right. I always forget that. But yeah, it is him.
those dudes are cool as hell. We had the best time with them. They ripped it up. They were so great live, and then they were just cool dudes as well. So it was really really awesome to play with them. That was one of the highlights for us. We were so excited to jam with them, and the show went really great. Italy was fantastic. They really just made us feel wanted. They knew
That's
all the
cool.
songs.
Nice.
They just went crazy for us, and that was a maniacal show. I mean, very very old school in that the whole room was moving, everybody's just raging, and I don't even think there's photographs of it, but I don't even know if there's any footage because I haven't seen anything on YouTube, and
Uh-huh.
I feel like not a single person had a camera or a phone up in the air the entire time. There was so maybe it'll show up, but we'll see. Even if it doesn't, I don't care. It was amazing.
Yeah, I
Um,
mean, what a cool band to play with. Because yeah, I've been a fan since he left, and and I heard about Eurynomos. So
mhm.
fucking kudos, dude. That's cool. You got to play a fucking show with them,
Yeah,
and
that was
in Europe of all places too. Nice.
yeah. We do this with like every band that we think is great. Like we're already trying to like find a way to get Euronymous to come to the States, maybe to DTF, something like that. We're gonna try to help
Aren't
them
they
with
going
that.
to Metal Threat?
I
I
I
think
think
they're
they
on
might
there.
be.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's right. If they
yeah.
yeah, they are, but we got to bring them to Texas. So
Me-
uh
Metal Threat should be in Texas.
it
Sorry,
really should.
Chicago.
It
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 would
really should.
rule. It would rule so fucking great if it
It
was
would
in
go
Texas.
huge over. It would go over huge, like just having it in Houston.
Yeah.
So anyway, but we'll see. Then we went on to Switzerland, and we played in a very small town called Liestal, which is about hour and a half away from Zurich. And that was amazing because,
Let me interject real quick.
yeah, yeah.
Let me interject. All right, Frazier. First warning: do not insult the
Are you
guest.
Jeffy? I am. Look what I'm eating right now. This is called Smash. It is a Norwegian candy. It's basically bugles dipped in this really very tasty milk chocolate. I always get this when I'm in Finland. I love it so much. The guys in 1349 got me hooked on it. I swear to God, it is super addictive. So tonight
I, I,
I am
I
Jeff
just want.
Tandy.
I just wanted the mods to put Frazier in a timeout if he starts getting crazy. That's all I'm
Mm.
going to say.
Anyway,
But he's usually behaves. All right,
yeah, but
Switzerland.
anyway, Switzerland. It was this small venue, very small venue called Away. And it's hard to describe it because you know how and this is like this on the East Coast too. You know how a lot of houses are built vertically where it's like 3 floors, like the whole
Yes.
and it's an attached house, like a townhouse, but it's like 3 floors tall. And that's the entire living area. The basement of this place, the ground floor, was the venue, and then the guy who ran the club lived upstairs. But it was this really, really old, like late 1800s abode, and
Oh, jeez.
it looked like an alchemist should have lived there because I mean,
Nice.
the couple who ran the place, they were into like kind of magical workings and stuff. The whole place was very very old world, and the venue was very small. Like the stage was probably about 8 feet wide, like a little tiny club stage.
Sure.
But then the entire place was decorated with like all kinds of animal bones and tree limbs and occult, iconography and candles,
Wow.
and it was insane. And when Baxaxa, it was really cool because every night basically we'd be setting up and watching Baxaxa play their set,
Yeah.
and at this venue there was only a few places to go, so we're basically in the back of the room watching Baxaxa perform, and I was going, God, this place was custom made for this band. I mean, it looked like you'd see those pictures like on Antecedent Archives or whatever. You know how like they have
Oh
all the
yeah, yeah, yeah,
old school
yeah.
black metal photos.
Yeah.
I took a bunch of pictures there. I'm like, you would see this and you would think it was from like 1992 or something, like Emperor playing in 1992. It really looked and felt like that. It was incredible.
That early second wave black metal
Yeah.
seedy look. Yeah, dude, that's fucking
Yeah.
cool.
And it was tiny and it was out of the way. And I think maybe 30 people came to that one, but maybe a little more, but it was a small crowd, but man, that room was so tiny. Everybody was just right on top of us, very intimate. And just the energy was so different and so underground, like in the truest cultist sense of it. It was so
Dude, that's what
incredible.
I was literally thinking. That sounds very fucking underground, fucking, cult.
I really loved it. It was very funny because it echoed so much of the tour with Watain and Secrets of the Moon. There was a show that's really fairly famous now that we played in the German forest in a cabin, like on the floor, just on the
I
floor. Just
I think I seen the video of that show.
yeah, there's a lot of photos of it. Watain has used them in all their compilations and stuff. I took a bunch of photos of them playing. But it's literally a cabin with like the little um, checkerboard curtains on the windows and everything.
Wow.
So this was even like more of that. It was just so obscure and so out of the way, and just you had to know to be there basically, and that was really really great. Um,
What a cool place to play, man.
yeah,
Like wow.
and that was one of the great things about this tour is that we got to have such a variety of settings. We had nice clubs, backs of pubs, like this weird little cult space, and then a fest stage. We got to do like all levels of it, and that
I
was
know the feeling of the tours like that where I mean it's wherever it gets booked and
hmm
you just play, man. Sometimes it's like you said, it's a nice stage, or sometimes it's like a little corner in the room. It's just
yeah,
whatever. You just roll with the punches, right? You just play
yeah.
the show. Yeah.
And I mean, I really enjoyed that part of it. I didn't have any complaints about that at all. Um,
As long as
but,
like the people who show up are really like enjoying it, it really
mhm,
doesn't matter to me either. Like as long as I get that feedback of like the synergy that's going on in the room or whatever. Like all right, cool, man.
yeah. And again, that was it. There was nobody on safari. There was no weekenders there. Everybody who was there meant it, and
Yeah,
that
I got
that
you.
was that was the absolute best. Um, we we the one problem, I wouldn't say it was even a problem, but the one challenge was that the drives between the venues each day were between about 6 and 9 hours, depending on where we were going. Which, I mean, I know for Texans it doesn't sound that insane, but man, you do that like 4 or 5 days in a row, it kicks your ass.
That's
Especially,
kind of quite a bit for Europe.
yeah, because we were covering a lot of ground, and trying to get to like one show in every country in that big circle.
Yeah. Wow.
And man, we were basically playing the game like going, okay, we're going to get off the stage at this time and we're going to load out immediately. And then we're going to go to the hotel and we're going to lay down right away. And if we go to sleep immediately, we'll get 4.5 hours of sleep. And then we got to get up because we had load in at 3, 9 hours away from here.
Yep.
Um, and again, I didn't know that Box X had never toured, that many days in a row. I didn't know neither Imprecation nor Box X had ever done anything other than more than a couple of days at a time, and big festival appearances and stuff. So
Yeah.
yes, no tour bus. It was two basically passenger vans that like had the cargo compartment in the back.
Hmm.
So I mean, it wasn't terrible, but it wasn't like crazy posh or anything. We're all sitting up, sleeping, sitting up, and we were tired. I mean, we were fucking tired, and we had to cover so much ground, and we are going, like I said, out of the way, not to a lot of major cities. So we're just on the highway, pulling over, eating gas station sandwiches, getting back in the van, fucking going. I mean, we
Hell
ate it.
yeah.
We ate at gas stations like 90% of the way there.
That's funny because yeah, gas station sandwiches, and you'll get lucky sometimes. They might have a banana or an apple there too, and you
Yeah,
actually want something like that after a while because you've been eating
Yes.
Just gas station food, like it's nothing that's grown, It's
Yeah, yeah. And I'll say this, the riders, for like what we wanted to eat in the backstage at every show were honored beautifully. Not like the States where they just give you like Little Caesars and let you figure it out. You know,
the
there was
cheapest fucking pizza there is, right? Oh, we got
yes,
the Little Caesars. Oh man, you
yeah,
guys went out of your way.
yes. Um, but so there was there's fruit and salad and all that kind of good stuff every night at the show. But we're trying to have 2 meals out on the road, so it's just and fucking Europe is just Planet Sandwich, man. That's all there is,
Really?
Yeah, yeah. It's always been like that. It's like there's great food to be had, but if you're just kind of on the move, you get a sandwich. That's it. It's always like very grainy bread, and then salami, and then like hard cheese. That's
Hard.
yeah, that's what you get. And I mean, the food quality is decent. It's just when you're eating those like 8 days.
Well, of course,
holy fuck.
Yeah, you want a little variety after a while, not the same thing, every day.
Yeah.
Let's get a little. This again? Okay.
Energy drink penetration there is total. You think we have a lot of energy drink brands in the States? You have no fucking idea. You know how like fireworks stands look, where they just got the whole array?
Yeah, it's like overboard.
It's like that, but it's like energy drinks.
In order to start.
God. And I don't even like energy drinks. I mean, I had to resort to drinking a couple because this is another thing that sucked. It's like I didn't get a real cup of coffee once I was in Europe. Like you think Europe, oh wow, it's coffee everywhere. And yeah, it's all that just the Nescafe machine coffee at the fucking truck stops and gas stations. No real coffee to be had. So a couple of times I drank a Red Bull and that was about it. But a couple of the other guys.
Yeah, see, that sucks for me because I can't be drinking shit like that.
Yeah,
energy drinks in no way.
Yeah,
good.
No, they're horrible. I don't like them. But yeah, I had to resort to a Red Bull a couple of times.
What do? Okay, here's like do they have regular water or is it all caffeinated?
No, they have regular water.
Okay, I didn't know. I remember like they not caffeinated, but
carbonated.
Carbonated, yeah.
Yeah. No, they have more still water these days. It's more popular than it used to be. It used to be nothing but mineral water, but yeah. And I did take the shitty coffee over the energy drink. Yeah, most times.
Yeah.
We were really, really tired heading into Poland. And what Nick and I, Nick Norris, our guitarist, he and I figured out the difficult way is that it appears that when you buy energy drinks in Poland, they are spiked. Like they're like twice the fucking caffeine. I had a standard Red Bull, and then I was like turning into a werewolf in the backstage. I'm like, just because I don't party, I don't do any of that stuff. So I was just like kind of beside myself for about 2 hours. I mean, trying to just. And it was one of those things where we got to the venue and I was like, oh, maybe I'm just excited to be here. And I'm like trying to organize my stuff and I just could not get my thoughts together. I'm just like, oh, Jesus Christ, And, it wore off, of course, but it was just like, oh, my God, it's really strong.
Yes, I didn't know that about Poland energy drinks, but it's not surprising for some reason.
Yeah. Speaking of, we played Katowice, and that was incredible. That was outside of SteelFest, that was the biggest show we played. It was just a packed house. Everybody was doing the chants. Everybody really made us feel welcome. We had people came from Warsaw and Krakow and all these other cities, like by bus and train, to make it out there to see us. It was a happening.
I've heard from multiple people that Poland is the fucking extreme metal fucking diehard capital of Europe. That's what I heard.
Yeah, I would agree. I mean, there were guys there with like Imprecation back patches and all kinds of stuff. So it was incredible. We were really grateful for the people of Poland for receiving us like that. We were very honored. They really treated both bands incredibly.
Awesome.
Yeah. So that was a big deal. I mean, when we were trying to book the tour, we wanted to go further eastward into Poland and maybe into like some of the the former Eastern Bloc
The more,
states, because Patrick was reporting that they'd played over there and that they happened to know that there was a bunch of Imprecation fans in the Eastern quarters. And the only reason we didn't end up doing that was because of SteelFest. That was kind of the thing.
Oh, like the timing and everything.
Yeah, SteelFest became a fulcrum because it was at the end, but yet we had to be in position to get flown up there. No, I did not see any Imprecation bootleg merch. It was all official, which was really, really cool.
Nice.
Thanks to Yosuke making the back patch and all that stuff. Like the woven, the embroidered back patch. But yeah. SteelFest kind of made it a challenge because we kind of had to stay within range of being able to get to an airport to then be flown up there for that show. In fact, if you don't mind, let's since I'm talking about SteelFest now, let's take a look at some of the footage. Let BaxXX go first, of course. And
let's make sure they get played up and get it set up here.
And again, you guys need to pay attention to this band. They are fantastic, and you'll see what I'm talking about right here.
All right, boom, boom. Hold on, pause. I said pause, boy. All right, here we go. Let's check them out. All right, here we go. We're back. Yeah, dude, that's
Yeah.
fucking sounded fucking good. Really good live
Yeah.
sound.
Yeah. And it was great because that was the last show of that whole outing. And we were really ground in by then. Both bands had been playing for like a week and a half. So we pretty much had everything we needed to succeed. And yeah, it never, the sun never really went down completely at SteelFest. It's pretty
Yeah,
far
I hear
north.
that with multiple people like are always complaining about Stillfist footage. Oh, bands in the day, and I'm like,
Yeah, it's like no choice.
well, what are they supposed to do when it doesn't fucking get dark?
Yeah. You know, I may have mentioned this before when I did my SteelFest report last time, but they don't do enough. You know how they do studies on seasonal depression, like too much dark makes people depressed.
Yeah.
I have noticed that when people have too much sun in the summertime, they seem like they end up getting up way too early because they're rising with the sun. Like Nick and I had to go to the train station to catch our plane at like 4:30 in the morning, and people were walking around on the street like it was 3 in the afternoon.
So weird, dude.
And yeah, it was bizarre, and everybody seemed kind of agitated. I was getting the feeling that people were not like sleeping.
Yeah,
You know,
it fucks them up probably.
yeah. So I think it works both ways. Anyway, but that's why you see bands. I mean, they had 2 stages going. They had an indoor stage, and the one thing about that, and this sounds very rock star, but you know, you always have to have kind of firsts on shows. Is the outdoor stage that we were playing on, even though the sun was out, they did have the big jumbotron, like the Axl Rose LED screen, like where they'd zoom in on you, and getting to be on one of those, that was the first time that ever happened to me. So that was really cool. You know,
Nice.
So I liked it. I was like, oh, they got the jumbotron. We're gonna get to be on that.
Somebody video that. Right
Yes.
now.
Yeah. That was fun. And also that stage was actually the bigger one and had like the bigger sound. So anyway, that was really cool. Getting to I'll keep regaling you with like the stories of the shows. We left off at Katowice. We then went on to play Erfurt, Germany, which is actually kind of right on, like it's in Thuringia, and it's sort of where the epicenter of the current death and black metal underground in Germany exists.
Okay.
Parasite Gallows Booking operates out of there. That's Steve Kerr, who has always been working in the underground. He and I backed Neil and Krieg back in 2001 when we went over there together. So yeah, we go way back.
Yeah.
But we played this club called the Club from Hell, and it lived up to its name. It was insane. I'm trying to think of a good equivalent. It was kind of like the Back Room, you know, where it had big. Yeah.
You're talking about your jumbotrons.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that room had like a great, had the big wraparound frame with all the LED lights on it. But then it had inverted crosses all over everything, and skeleton reliefs all over everything, and pentagrams all over everything, and bones all over everything. So it was kind of a funny thing because it was sort of like the show in Switzerland, except it was like the fancy produced version of it. You know what I mean?
Like a more like modern high-end version.
Yeah, I mean, and yeah, with really great sound system, really nice facility. It was super cool because they had a bunkhouse right upstairs, so you finish playing and you go upstairs and go to sleep, you know. And
well, fuck it, right? I mean, that's cool though.
And that show was typical of Germany. That was a Thursday night, and there was probably about 60 people, which
that's good, right?
Oh no, it was, but
yeah.
I mean, that room was really big, so it was one of those things where it felt smaller.
Yeah.
And I mean, I'm not even complaining. It's just we just gotten off of playing a couple of almost 200 people shows, and then we went to this super well-produced club and only had like 60 people.
And you're expecting, well, yeah.
We thought there'd be more like 100, but
yeah, I would too for sure.
But I got to tell you, sometimes it shows that you feel like are maybe underwhelming. You find even one reason to give it your all. And this time there was a relatively young kid. I mean, probably in his early 20s, but he had the Imprecation Theurgia Goetia Suma shirt on. And man, when we broke out that material in the second half of the set, he looked like he was about to cry. He was so excited. And we were just playing it, and we're like, you know, just so
For
that
sure. That's fucking cool. Yeah.
Yeah. That was fantastic. I mean, I don't have any complaints. It's like, you know, again, it was an underground tour, you know, whoever's showing up is who's showing up, and we're playing for them, and we're grateful for that. But it was just so funny because that, of all the clubs, that had like the most produced stage and most produced sound, and like going, man, it would have been great if more people had gotten to see it, you know. But,
and that whole environment, that aesthetic and shit, that'd been cool as hell.
Yeah, but still, let's see, what European country loved Imprecation the most? Absolutely Poland and Italy. They were like contenders, but I think the sheer volume of Poland was so visible. Like I said, the fact that people, like, it was funny because because there was only 2 bands on that show, it didn't run that late, and like the room, I mean, it didn't clear out completely, but it was like packed, like you couldn't move around in there. And as soon as we got off the stage and finished, people vanished because they were trying to get the 10:30 train back to Krakow, or, you know, things like that. So Poland far and away. The fact that so many people traveled so far from it. I mean, there's a fellow who's been friends and a fan of the band for years. He's from Poland, but he lived in London, and he flew out just to see us. So yeah, we did not play England, and I'm glad we didn't. That would have really diverted us way off the path,
off the track.
Yeah.
Of the tour.
Yeah, we took pictures with the Eurynomos guys. They were, like I said, they were rad. Loved them. Erfurt was nice. It was fun to play on a stage like that. We kind of considered it a warm up for SteelFest. You know, we're like, all right,
why not? So that was your last show in mainland Europe?
No, we had one final show in Namur, Belgium. I had never heard of it, never been there, and it was phenomenal. I didn't know what to expect at all. That was a Friday night, and we went out for that, and it was insane because it was a really old city. It was a medieval city, and they had castles like all over the place. Like you could see, like, you know, just the castle turrets up on the hills, and it was like big hills and almost like basically semi-mountainous, right? Oh, and we drove through the Alps in Switzerland, and that was fantastic. You used the picture.
I used the picture.
Yeah. That was unbelievable.
Very majestic looking. You know?
Yeah.
Like, that's fucking cool.
Yeah. And we were all so tired that, you know, Patrick was an Iron Man when it came to driving. I mean, we took turns driving, but he did the bulk of it, and he was just solid as hell. But it was funny because whoever was sitting in the front seat with him, the rest of us were like conked out in the back seat, of course, sitting up shoulder to shoulder. And then we'd hear them go, wow. And we all like lift our heads up and look at what they were looking at the window going, whoa, that's really cool. You know, so kind of just went back and forth, waking up, marveling at it, and going back to sleep.
But that's cool because, you know, they will definitely be like memories ingrained in your fucking psyche now, right?
Yes.
Just those sights. Yeah, man, that's cool.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, anyway, Namur was amazing because we were using, you know, Google Maps to get to the club. None of us had ever played in any of these places, so nobody knew their way around.
Okay.
And we started driving up this hill, you know, and like it's through the woods, and it's like, you know, kind of like almost a single lane road where we like had to like stop when it came to a curve so you wouldn't hit the other car going the other way, that kind of shit. Going up and up and up and up and up and up and up, and like, and we started getting weirded out, thinking like maybe the GPS was screwed.
Like,
up.
Where's it taking us? Yeah.
And we got to the crest of the hill, and there's this fort that's like overlooking the whole valley, and you know, there's like guard turrets down at the bottom, like medieval guard turrets and everything, and it's this medieval fort, and it's the club, and it was like, we went inside, and it was like a full, you know, fully produced, you know, high-end venue, really nice in there. And then you go out onto the patio, and you just see the whole valley. You see all the medieval buildings. It was unbelievable.
Wow.
And a bunch of people, just, and we were so stunned. We didn't know what to expect. You know?
Yeah.
And so there was a real old era authenticity to that too. And yeah, Mr. Omega Vortex himself surprised us at that show. That was really, really cool. He was right up front, and he was wearing a Morbid Scream T-shirt. And I'm like,
makes sense. Yeah.
I was like, who the hell is this? I was like, wow, this guy's awesome. And I mean, people came out in force for Texas, man. He had a friend with him who had
Vasily.
Vasily, yes.
I know who that is. He does that zine. Ancient
yes,
Spirit
he does.
Theory rules.
Yep. Yeah, I'll show it in the next break. He gave me one.
I got him.
Yeah, Ancient Spirit. Yep. Vasily, he was awesome. He's wearing a Blaspherian T-shirt. And then there was some other guy who wasn't even attached to them. He had a huge Necrovore back patch.
Yes.
And so it was like Texas strong at that show. And at that point, we were like sharp as a razor. I think that was the best set we played, period. That was the best sounding set that we'd done of the whole thing. And the crowd really, really responded. I mean, when you're playing the songs and people are like kind of headbanging at all the right parts, and you can tell that they know the material. Some people knew the fucking words, at some of the shows. That was really amazing.
Yeah.
So
that's
Texas,
always good. Yeah. They're getting under this guy's skin.
Yeah. So anyway, that was phenomenal. But then for our trouble, we didn't even have a place to stay in Belgium. The agenda,
I didn't know this part. Okay,
the agenda was we had to drive we had to drive starting at 1:30 in the morning. So we stayed up.
Point.
Yeah. Stayed up, had a drink with everybody, loaded out, and then started driving. We had to drive to Dusseldorf, which is about 2 hours away. Got to the Dusseldorf airport, parked the vans in long-term parking, and only pulled out the stuff that we needed to go to SteelFest, just our guitars and our luggage. And then we got on the plane, and it fucking sucked because we went from Dusseldorf to Munich, had to get off the plane, go over and get on a different plane to go to Helsinki.
Yeah.
And I mean, these are only about an hour apiece, but at this point, it's now 7 a.m. We're all just, we haven't slept. We haven't slept really for days, and we are just tanked. And we got to the hotel. Like Hyvinka is about an hour. Well, Hyvinka is about 30 minutes away from the airport. So a driver came and got us, loaded us all out. We went to the hotel just long enough to drop our personal luggage off in our rooms and check in. Then we had to turn right back around, get in the van, and go to SteelFest and play the show. So and I hadn't taken my stage clothes off in 60 hours by the time we we hit this. Because I was wearing them all day. I don't know why I decided to do this. It just baggage access got limited near the end because we were having to reconfigure everything. So I'm just sitting there in my sweaty stage clothes, played the Namir show in my sweaty stage clothes, stayed in them, flew in them, got to, I mean, people are probably like, big deal, I've done that before, but whatever.
No,
it was grody.
It's part of the story. Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see. Did you get all y'all's items, all y'all's merch? I can't decide.
I think what he's saying is, did you sell out all your merch?
We sure as shit did. We had nothing for SteelFest.
Oh, damn.
People in Poland nearly knocked the tables over trying to get to the merch. It was amazing. They cleaned us out. Poland wiped us out. They fucked it up for everybody else. It's their fault. So yeah, we had like literally 4 shirts. No, we had 3 shirts and like a box set and 1 LP to sell at SteelFest. They laughed so hard when we walked over and handed them off,
They're like, really?
Yeah. Yeah. They're like, well, I guess this will be they were like ready. They had the whole sheet to check everything in. They're like, oh, and they went, doot, doot, doot. Okay, thank you. And then they were gone instantly.
Yeah, sure.
So yeah, that was very good. But yeah, by the time we hit the stage, we'd been all awake for about 40 hours. Because
I think that beats me. I think I've done like, 30, 32, but not 40.
When my head hit the pillow at the Hilton airport, when we got, sorry. Yeah, at the airport hotel after SteelFest was over, I counted it up and went 46 hours awake. Holy shit. Now, you guys know me. I don't I don't take any drugs. I don't drink. I don't do anything. I didn't even rely on energy drinks for that one. That was just raw will.
Yeah.
And it hurts. But we had a really successful showing at SteelFest. Everybody there was fantastic to us. Um, yeah, thank you for pointing that out. I agree with you. This is kind of why I upped my cardio and overall fitness regimen over the last couple of years, because it's true. You start to
Oh
feel
yeah, you can't count on your youth to get you through.
no, you start
Nope.
to feel the gravity.
I
And
play a show now, and I'm like, holy God, I gotta,
mhm,
holy ungod, strike me down. I have to, I need a fucking day or two to recover now, man. It's like,
yeah,
jeez.
yeah. I actually had like an attack of exhaustion after the Erfurt show because we were so tired, and I actually managed to get dehydrated. I just didn't keep up on drinking water, unfortunately.
Fucking nacho. Crank that
Yeah.
hog and call it a night.
Yeah, yeah. Couldn't even do that. There was too many people around.
Oh
Um,
yeah, god damn it.
Everybody's sharing one bathroom. And I mean, that's the hilarious thing. It's like we were so. Here's the thing: the mean age of the band was 43 years old, and the only reason that is because Nick, and uh, oh, how do you say his name?
When,
Irvikt, the guitar, the keyboardist from Box X Action. They were both in their 30s, and then Matt, our drummer, was 38. But then everybody else was about 50 something.
yeah, 50 something.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
And so we were just, I mean, everybody was just on it. There was nobody fell out, nothing like that. But the thing is that unlike what people might expect, there was like zero partying. We were like, okay, we're going to make it to the show. We're going to play the show. We're going to drive to the hotel. We're going to go to sleep. We're going to get up. We're going to go to the show. We're going to play the show. We just went boom, 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 boom.
That's the difference between the 20 and 30 something year old bands and the 40 plus and 50-year-old bands.
Yeah. Yeah. Nobody was fucking around like at all. And that was okay. I mean, that's actually my kind of tour, I don't, but anyway, it was amazing to me because it was like all at once when we actually got to the SteelFest grounds and started seeing our friends and seeing the setup and like getting backstage and all that stuff. Suddenly, every last one of us got a second win. We're like,
yeah,
oh,
you get that
you know.
natural adrenaline kicks in when you're like, because it's just cool, like,
Mm-hmm.
like, oh yeah, fuck, so this dude and just
Yeah.
the show and everything. Somehow your body finds a way, to get you through that
Yeah.
experience. But like you said, once you sit down and you get, like, oh my god.
We hung in there till about 9 o'clock that night, and then it was really funny because Patrick from Box X Axa, he said, hey, because like the shuttle was supposed to be back to the hotel at 1:30 in the morning, at the end of the show.
Yeah.
And he came up to us and he goes, hey, listen, we can have a ride back as early as 10:30. What do you say? And we all looked at each other and went, oh, okay, yeah, I think that's a good idea. And then as soon as he said that, we all started to get really slack because we knew we didn't have to hang on
start winding
anymore.
down.
Yeah, we're just all sitting in the backstage just like, oh, okay, and just waiting to get in the van. I mean, it was fine. It was totally worth it. But man, it was an endurance challenge. And when you're producing it yourself, when you don't have a driver, when you don't have a bus with bunks on it,
It's a different world, right?
Oh yeah.
When you're doing it yourself, and then when you're on the bus with bunks, and you can just say, well, all right, later, and you just sleep.
Lay down whenever you want, And
I'll tell you, Jeff, some of my best sleep ever was on that Marduk tour. Because I could just go away and sleep and just no one bug me. And, you know, I wouldn't have to wake me up like 3 times at the Canadian border because I was just fucking.
Yeah. Yep. I remember that.
Yeah.
Also,
hey, man, get the fuck up. We got to check you in, man.
The motion of the bus also kind of helps, kind of just getting rocked along a little bit.
Yeah, it's like a little nice baby fucking child, tender. I don't fucking know, man. Yeah. That's funny. Hey, do you
So
want to show some imprecation? You want
yes,
to do
let's
that yet?
let's look at the final result from SteelFest.
All right, let me get this set
This
up real
is
quick.
this is a. I'll tell the story real quick about this. We added this song is called "Cursed into Black." It's on the newest release that is out now, Vomitum Tempestus. If you
Is
haven't
that
picked
out
up
on all
already,
formats now?
all formats. It's on CD,
Okay.
LP, color
Oh,
LP is
hold on.
completely sold out. I'm pleased to say. So
Badass.
yeah, but CD, tape, and LP, you can get it. We added this song back into the set about 3 dates in because Backsax actually came up to us and went, everybody's upset that you don't have more material. You need at least one more song. And so we're like, oh, shit. So we brought this one back, and we weren't 100% on it when we first debuted it. But then for whatever reason, it really clicked this time, and you'll get to see it now. It's Cursed into Black.
All right, let me get it set up here. Hit the play button. All right. Sorry about that. Oh,
All
streaming from the
right.
stream. All right. Yeah, dude, that sounded fucking really fucking good.
I thank you.
Really good.
I was really happy with it. I would I would feel this way even if I wasn't in the band, but or even whether or not I was in the band, I would feel this way. Dave Herrera is a monster front man. God,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, I've always known that, but playing 10 dates with him in a row like that, and especially on that big stage, I mean, he's just a beast, you know. And I'm doing backing vocals with him, and I'm just going, God, I am completely outclassed, you know. So, yeah.
Yeah, well, that's his weapon of choice, vocals.
Yep.
But no, that sounded really good. And just want to thank you guys for going to SteelFest and showing what proper Texas
Yeah.
Black Death, whatever you want to call it, looks
Yeah.
like, and not no knockoff fucking garbage, but a real fucking proper band representing Texas.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Thank you, everybody. If you came out, thank you so much. It's kind of a side note. We ended up being in the van on the way to SteelFest with Mortiz, who I'd never met, and he actually turned out to. I didn't know anything about him other than just his music or this
Sure.
whole Goblin thing. He is the coolest dude, and
I heard that from multiple people, dude.
Yeah, and
He's a fucking pretty cool dude.
oh, I mean, you got to be some kind of nut to be able to keep the Goblin thing going for like 30 years and still have a career
still
off
fucking
of it.
doing it.
Yeah. But no, he was cool as hell. He just acted like he knew us already. He was real, just friendly, and also just a force of nature. It was so hysterical because everywhere he showed up at SteelFest, like what happened was I mean, we're in the van with him while he's figuring this out. His luggage was lost. All of his electronics were lost. His prosthetics were lost. He had nothing, and he had to cancel. So his set was supposed to be a little later on, right after ours, pretty much. And then, so he didn't have anything. He had to cancel on the spot. But then he still came out and still partied, and he was just everywhere and he wasn't wearing the makeup. Obviously, he didn't have it. It was just him. But
he's pretty well known now.
Oh yeah.
Like
and he's got
that's fucking Mortis.
Yeah, he's got those crazy dreads, so you can't miss him.
Back right there and shit.
Yep.
Yeah.
And he was hysterical because every time he entered the room, it was kind of like, I mean, he wasn't wild and crazy, but he just had this center of gravity around him. It was like everybody's like, "Hey, it's Mortiz," and he's like, "Hey, what's up?" And it's just
that's so cool.
Yeah, he was really great, and it was one of those. That's one of the things I love about
he's not charging $185 meet and greets. No, he's
cool
fucking
no.
Dude
He was just he was rolling around in the crowd saying hi. I mean, he just making the most of being stuck there, and he's just like, well, I'm just gonna have a day out, So that was really cool. That just and that's what I love about the experience of touring and playing fests and all this stuff is that you get to meet all these amazing people and people that you worshipped. And you're just having a beer with them or talking with them or whatever. And it's incredible.
Circling back to something like that, that was like when Marduk entered the bus, when we were already on the bus. Remember, we got on the bus from the bus company and then we rode it into fucking Baltimore.
Yeah.
And so they're like, oh, we're going to pick up the Marduk guys real quick. And I'm like, oh, okay. And Marduk got on the bus, and I just thought to myself, this is surreal, because I still do, but Marduk was one of my favorite black metal bands all these years. Yeah. And Morgan, hello, we're Marduk. I'm Morgan, and they, just extend their hands, and that's that, like, damn, fucking cool, dude, it is a surreal experience sometimes, but then when it's way cooler when they're fucking cool people.
It really is. But the thing that's funny for me, and I've talked about this before, is I set my expectations realistically. If I meet somebody I admire and they're really cool, that's a bonus for me. If I meet them and they're not that cool, I don't care because that wasn't the guarantee. You know what I mean?
And good point on that, because it doesn't change the fact that they did cool shit. You didn't get into them because you didn't know them personally. You got into them what they created.
Exactly.
So that's a cool fact. It's now I don't like when meet and greets that are like charging a bunch of money and shit like that. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
a different story.
yeah,
But I'm talking like if like they didn't live up to your expectations. And a lot of times too, you gotta remember too, people do have bad days. You
yeah.
know,
Of course, of
and
course.
and you can't make your final judgment on them because they weren't talkative, or you don't know what's fucking going on in their life at that moment too. So
I don't. The only time I've ever, and this has come up so rarely because I don't listen to bands full of reprobates generally, but the only time I've ever been bothered is not how they were towards me, like if they were unfriendly or not talkative or whatever. But if I'm like sitting there and watching how they're behaving and they're like just fuck ups, that's when I,
well, that's a
you
whole
know,
different thing.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah. And but that almost never happens because I just don't get into bands that radiate that kind of shit. You know,
Yeah.
um, I'm not a big fan of I Hate God or some bullshit like that. So it doesn't come up that much.
Super kind of druggy people.
Yeah, yeah, So
Another thing kind of bugs me is if they're like too fucking handsy with the female fans and all that. I'll
that's
be
what
like,
I was also thinking
dude,
of.
yeah, don't do that. Come on, man.
I mean, it depends on the dude. I mean, I've seen like KK Worslet will just like put his arm around a chick that he's just met, and she'll just be like, "Okay," So it just
Well, yeah, arm around one
well, yeah,
thing.
but not
Yeah.
like yeah. I get what
Arm
you
around the
mean.
waist, almost on the ass, is another thing.
I've
Like,
seen
come
them do
on.
that too, and they didn't complain. So it's just an
Well,
example. It depends on who you are and what you're
I was
known
just gonna
for.
say, if it's Destroyer 666, most chicks.
Yeah, no woman's going to go up to that guy and I mean, I'm not trying to single him out. I'm just thinking of an
Well,
example.
what I'm saying is most chicks think those dudes are hot. Is what
That's what
I'm.
I'm saying, and
Yeah.
they're showing up for that kind of encounter, and that's fine. But when it's a dude who's kind of out of context, going, "Hey, what are you?" And yeah, like that, then and they're lecherous, then
Looking at you, Jeff Becerra.
yeah,
Yeah, he's a little
yeah.
handsy. I made sure
Well,
my wife stayed away from him when Austin. That's like, don't even go near that fucking guy.
well, and he likes the youngins. You know about this, right?
Well, yeah, we
Yeah,
heard. Yeah,
yeah.
that's the thing.
I'm not going to let that slide. I mean, I'm not going to make a big deal of it, but yeah, it's already getting swept away, and let's not forget that that's what he was doing. Fuck that guy. There's a whole there's there's this whole world of girls who are like 18 and older. It's like if 18 ain't good enough for you, which I mean, you got your own issues
And you're
besides, but
like in your mid 50s or
yeah,
above.
if you're in
Jesus.
your mid 50s legally, I'm not advocating this myself. This is not what I'm doing, obviously, but it's like if you're in your 50s and you want to get with a young girl, you can still legally get with someone who's even 18. And you're trying to tell me that's still not young enough for you?
Yeah, you're just
That's
getting into
fucked up.
you're just getting into weird fucking creepy
Yeah,
veil
that's
shit, man.
what
It's
I'm
like,
saying. That
you're
means
fucking 50. 25 is fucking too young for your old ass, but whatever, it's legal at least.
putting too
But
many
I
of my
mean, yeah,
cards on the
it's
table
not.
here, but
It's not gonna like get you in trouble with the law.
no,
at
I
least,
mean
or
that's
anything
a
like that.
completely
It'll still be
different.
like people like, look at this.
Yeah, but it's a different implication completely. It's
Yeah, and it's imprecation, Fraser, not
yeah,
implication. Come on.
yes. Well, yeah, Mortiz got me on that. It was so funny because he said, "What was the name of your band?" And I said, "Imprecation." He goes, "Oh, I've heard that name." I'm like, "Really?" He goes, "Yeah, everybody knows this one, Impregnation. I know it."
Stupid.
I got zinged by Mortiz. I love it.
They want a sugar daddy, Fraser. I mean, what are you waiting for, bro?
Yeah,
You got that
man.
high-paying job at the courthouse, man.
Get on that OnlyFans, buddy.
Yeah,
Um,
you'll be fucking just hitting them up, dude. They'll be calling you. They'll be like, "Hey, I'm sorry, I'm going on a tangent. Sugar daddy Fraser, fucking
Speaking of Texas supremacy in Europe,
uh-huh.
Prescriptor and Absu played.
Oh yes,
Unfortunately, we missed it because that was on the Friday, but we actually got to hang out with the man himself in the backstage for a while. We had some great chats. I hadn't seen him in a little while, so it was really cool to catch up. I did put some footage on there. He is just really him and Zemiel. It's not Zemiel, it's Zemiel.
Zemio.
I asked
I
my
used to
Greek
say
friend-
Zemio for the longest time.
I asked my Greek friends, and they said it's Zemio.
Zemio.
You know?
Yeah, dude, they're becoming like they already came out fucking firing on all cylinders, and it's like
Yeah.
this
So-
is like fucking Absu is back.
Yeah, for real. So let's go ahead, since I didn't get to see it, let's go ahead and play that now and take a look at what
All
they're
right, let me
doing.
get it set up real
Right on.
quick. Because every time I pause it, and then I say full screen, it wants to fucking start again.
Yeah.
Hold on. See? Did it again. Let me get it. Rewind. All right, here we go. We should be set now. Some Absu. That shit's so good, dude.
Yes.
Son of Temper F just have so many headbanging riffs. I mean, it's just like
Yeah.
an onslaught of just headbanging riffs, man.
Yes. I want to just throw in a little advice to you. If you haven't checked out the band Maestas,
Oh, good call. Yeah.
Maestas, and you like the Son of Tippereth sound, there's a lot of that same energy going on in the Maestas material. Yeah, they're lesser seen. They're from Dallas as well. It's Dave Ward from Absu. He was one of the foundational members
lineups.
On the Baratham Vitriol. Their most recent album is from 2019. It's called Purgatorium. Check that out. It's really
amazing. Good.
It's
Dave's
a great album.
Great dude too, man.
Yes, I like Dave a lot. But yeah, Prescriptor really acquitting himself as just a front man. I mean, I miss watching him play drums. That was the best ever. But,
he did so much amazing shit.
Oh,
wow. The switch to front man is like pretty seamless.
Yes. It's really making it work. I mean, better than I even thought, honestly. I didn't know. I mean, I just, you don't know what to expect. I'd seen him do the Stone of Destiny on the previous tours.
Oh, yeah. Where the other dude came up and played drums.
I mean, that worked really well, too. But just for him to hold down a whole set, that's pretty impressive. And he was never fat, by the way.
Yeah, I don't know what that comment was, T-Bone.
He's particularly thin now. I think he's like now fully vegetarian. But so... Yeah, he's very thin again, but he was never fat,
Not fat like,
No.
me or Fraser or
Yeah.
Or T-Bone.
Yeah.
T-Bone. Damn it, T-Bone. Just for that T-Bone, I'm going to embarrass you. Hold on, give me a second, Jeff.
Yeah.
You got to embarrass T-Bone real quick.
Okay.
Where is it at? Oh, yeah, here we go. T-Bone, you're getting embarrassed. Calling Prescriptor fat. How dare you? So
T-Bone! 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 T-Bone!
He actually hates that drop.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, that's why.
Fair enough. Yeah.
Fraser caught his stray. He sure did. Hey, I took that bullet with you, Fraser. Come on, give me some credit.
I was just going to observe that Prescriptor remains one of the most unconventional performers in all of black metal, but he owns it. He owns it 100%, and it's really cool watching him back in action. Yeah, I cannot wait to Nacho's point. I cannot wait to see them at DTF. That's going to be on my birthday. I'm going to go nuts. I think I might bring a cake. I'm that stoked about this show. So
I might go just for some cake.
Yeah, man. Seriously,
that'd be awesome.
I'm seriously thinking of picking up a pretty decent cake somewhere, not just an HEB cake, but something good.
It'd be nice to go to that and not have to play, because I think every time I've gone to it, I played. So
yeah,
sometimes it's just fun to hang out, right? You don't have the stress of all the, not a real stress, but you know what I mean, having to play. You can just hang out and enjoy yourself.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I think I'm going to do that. I'm going to splurge and I'm going to bring cake, and we're going to ruin the pool table with it. Get it all ground in there. No. Well, I'll do something cool, and if you're a friend, you can come up and have a slice.
There you go.
That'll be great.
VIPs only, Fraser. Sorry.
That'll be my 51st. Yeah, no Frasers.
No Frasers.
Yes.
Damn, 51st. I always forget you're in your 50s now.
Yeah, most people do, and I don't mind that.
Yeah.
But
yep.
I'm trying to think.
I knew this dude when he was, 16?
16.
16.
Yep. Fresh into 16. I basically got to know you right after I was able to drive.
That's right. That's what I'm saying.
Which was fortunate because we didn't live that close to each other. I was having to go out.
We live on complete opposite sides of the town.
Yeah, I'd drive all the way over to your place and you come over to my house. And I think we spent more time at your place jamming out, though. I mean, not for practice, but
just listening to music.
Listening to records and hanging out. Yeah.
Yeah, because it was cool. At my house, I had the whole upstairs to myself.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
There
was my brother was moved out, and
Yeah.
Jam out all you want and get into nonsense.
Yeah, he put on the Freddy costume and
Do stupid shit around the neighborhood. Fred,
Yeah.
I forgot about that damn Freddy costume.
You did some mean pranks with that costume. I'll just leave it at that. I wasn't there for any of that, but those stories still resonate with me a lot. Yeah, VIP.
Did I ever involve you in any of the crazy pranks, or was I pretty much out of it?
You were out of it by the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Yeah, that you were done with that by the time we.
Yeah, I might be, because I'm older than Jeff. I'm 55 now. Yeah, 55.
Yeah. And you got to understand, of course, it's like at that age, man, that's like a seismic jump between 16 and 20. You know?
Fuck yeah.
I mean, I was kind of, well, you remember, I was weird. I was such a little kid, but yet mature for my age and like in a lot of essential ways. So I was always able to hang
musically out. For sure.
Yeah. And I was, we were into movies and all that stuff. Everybody knows the story. We already told the origin story. Thank you everybody for supporting that one. That was one of the coolest episodes we did.
Where we just talked about
debuting Diabolus and all that. But
yeah. Hey, what's the deal? Yeah. Is Dylan giving you any updates on that?
We're gonna do this in October.
October?
Yeah, that's. I don't want to get too far ahead of it, but yeah, we're going to start talking about releasing the Diabolus tape in a limited edition in October. Just doing a definitive edition of it, which they'll just compile really cool. Everything that we put together. So that's going to be
cool. Very cool.
Yeah. Let's see. Ate gas station food for the most of the tour, but did I get to eat anything special? Yeah. Thanks for asking. We did actually, like right after we got to Munich, we were staying at the airport hotel, but it was like out in this little village out on the outskirts. Of course, in America, when you stay in the outskirts of a major city, it's just some fucking hellhole. But in Europe, it's some cute little village that you're staying in. And there was like a pub that served these just humongous schnitzels, and they were fantastic. Those were really good. Patrick from Backsaxa also took us out to this medieval restaurant in the Erfurt area, and that was very, very nice. We had like a schnitzel variant there, but it was damn good. I love schnitzel. It's basically just fried pork or fried venison. You can't go wrong,
Yeah.
Fries and coleslaw and sauce and all that stuff. Other than that, I mean, it was nothing amazing in just terms it was all functional, mostly food in the backstage and stuff like that. And again, the spreads were decent. There's, regular stuff, but I mean, we didn't get to eat all that fancy just based on our schedule. At SteelFest, they have the best concession stands around, and the prices are really decent.
No shit? Wow.
They had this moose sausage on French fries with sauce. That was incredible. The moose sausage was really, really good. So, there's that one chip stand at SteelFest every time that has game meat and then French fries all over the place. And it's like they have the huge vats that are just scooping. And I mean, you just want to climb in there with it, I love that stuff.
Fresh out of fryer.
Yeah, Jake, the kebab at SteelFest is the same people. Yeah. Oh, man. Killer. But
there's a SteelFest kebab?
Yep.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Yeah, it was like a real good meat kebab. And
I do love how SteelFest this kind of says, no, we're going to fucking do what we want and keep this, real metal and not bow down to anyone trying to say otherwise.
It is fiercely independent, and I appreciate that a lot. It's like Finland, very independent-minded, very much a world apart. I mean, the thing that's so cool about it, though, is that it's a Finnish fest with a lot of Finnish people and a lot of Finnish bands, but then there's people from all over. There's Americans and, from all over the mainland of Europe. I mean, it's quite an international meeting, and, its reputation for sketch is a bunch of bullshit.
Nonsense.
There's nothing going on like that. I mean,
all that stuff is always this proportion. It's nonsense. It's nonsense.
I mean, there, anyone's allowed. I mean, literally. I mean, I don't know how else to put it because it's just literally there were black fans just like everybody else, you know, and no one thought anything of that. No one ever would.
I mean, just like
You know?
anywhere else, if you act like an asshole, you'll get dealt with, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, like you said, everyone's welcome. But if you go and you start being an asshole, well, guess
Right.
what? You know, you'll get dealt with. So,
Right. Yeah. Not gonna get the Daisy Dukes Hell's Heroes crowd for sure. No
Jeez.
way. None of that shit was going on at all. No.
yeah,
We are going to record another album with Trenchant Fraser. Thank you for asking. We are.
yeah. What's the
working on it.
update on that?
We're still working on it. It's coming together quickly, but we had to put everything aside, you know, on hold to prepare for what we were doing with Imprecation, and that's just the way it's been for about the last 2 years. So
Well, I mean, yeah, makes sense.
we've been writing it in the margins. It's coming together very nicely, and that was another thing that was super cool, and much to our surprise, but I guess it helps being on a European label. There were Trenchant fans in the crowds at many of the shows, and people with the shirts on and everything.
Very nice.
That was extremely cool. So it just kind of inspired us. We're like, we got to hurry up, you know?
Well, yeah, that's the thing of being in multi-bands, you know,
Yeah.
especially when you got like a legacy band, right? I would say Imprecation's legacy definitely
Absolutely.
band at point.
Yeah. But yeah, and also we didn't want to, just while we're talking about it, the first album for Trenchant, we were really, really happy with it, and the response was really, really good, and we didn't want to rush it and have something that was inferior as a follow-up, like a lot of bands end up doing sometimes. So
Yeah, that is a big mistake to get a little taste of, you know, the momentum and want to keep it going.
right.
Yeah,
And
you might-
you get rushed, and then
you
they
might-
used all their good ideas on the first album, you know, that kind of thing.
Because it
So-
rushed out with like, you know, people like
Yeah.
it, and yeah, I mean, usually, but not like the first one.
Yeah, we've been building on it, and now it's really coming together, and it's the same spirit and feeling of the first album. It's just like pretty much we're just doing a part 2 of Command a Cult. It's just new songs, new riffs, and we want it to be the same vibe. I mean, we don't really want to change very much. It's just meant to be a continuation. So I think everyone's really going to like it. Birth AD is on hold, maybe forever. But thank you for that too. And
we covered that.
yeah, we did. Sorry, I know we retread a lot when I come on here, since I only come on here every once in a while.
Yeah, it's not like a weekly thing or monthly.
No, I'd probably repeat myself anyway, even if that that was the case. But
thing. It's all right. We all do it.
you know, I'll say this. I know that I repeat myself, like, you know, on Metal Enema. You know, I say a lot of the same stuff, but if you go back and listen to the last decade of what I've been doing with that, I never change my tune. I'm saying the same thing.
Consistent.
Always. Yes. I'm proud of that. I've never deviated from. I mean, it's just baked in. I you know, I'm not fair weather about it.
I prefer. I like consistency over people, you know, jumping fences, you know, like going with what's, you know, the wind's blowing, you know, whichever way they're gonna go, you know, with the wind. Yeah, that's always cool.
I'll be saying the same shit, you know, another 20 years from now.
We're gonna be.
If you know me, you'll have heard all my stories again, and you'll listen to them politely, or maybe you'll have forgotten, or maybe it'll be one that you liked a lot, so you don't mind hearing it again. You know, I know that I do
Well,
that.
I know I repeat things too, but I would like to think, you know, maybe there's someone who wasn't in that
Exactly.
show last time. It might be new to them, you know. So
Yeah.
you never know.
The fun thing about going to Europe, I'm not going to do any of them here because I don't want to dog on anybody too much. But the fun thing about going to Europe is, you know, as I think you know, I do impressions, and you really get some great fresh impressions from European voices. You know,
Oh, really?
Lots of accents and stuff. You know, and I'll say this much: it was hysterical because the drummer from Baxaxa, he goes by. Wait a minute, that's not him. Hold on a second.
Yeah.
I know them all by like their regular names.
The real
I don't want to
names.
Condemptor. That is his name from Baxaxa and Ungod. great guy, but he's so funny. He's got, you know, a really pronounced German accent. Do you know, Carl? Do you know Cookie? Uh, Roberto Maldonado.
That
Cookie?
sounds familiar.
Yeah. He's from. He lives in Mexico now, but he lived in Houston for a long time, and he runs a distro and everything. He came out and helped us on Merge.
Okay. Now that, yeah. That name.
Yeah, he's a great guy. He really helped us a bunch. But it was so funny because the conductor from Baxa works with a guy who's from Spain, and he taught him all the Spanish insults, of course.
Of course.
Yeah. And it was so funny because on the last show in Namur, we did kind of our official thanks for the tour because that was the last tour date. And, you know, Dave was saying, we want to thank Baxa, and then we want to also thank Cookie for helping us out so much. And Condemptor was in the audience. He always came up and watched us every night, which is so cool of him. And he goes, Hoto!
Oh, that's great.
So yeah, it's really funny.
Oh, dude.
And that's the best part of touring is you get into all the in jokes and everything.
Otto! With that big German accent.
Yeah. We all started laughing. He's trying to be
That's funny.
So, that was great. That was really funny.
Dude, this ain't as funny as that, but remember Sam's Burger Joint, right? When
yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
I would sit with Joe Cutthroat at the bar, you know,
Yeah.
whatever, and people would just coming in through the door to get food. Joe would always yell that, Hoto!
Same
They'd
thing.
be like, what?
Yeah, what the fuck?
Yeah, they're not going to say anything.
Yeah.
But that shit's always funny.
Yes. But it's worth mentioning again that we had a fantastic time with the Baxa guys. We all got along really great, and you know, there's no problems, no bullshit. It was really like the chemistry was just instant, and
That's
really,
usually the case, you know, when it's like real metal dudes, right? Fucking,
yeah.
You usually just get along just fine, you know.
Yeah, we're all there for the same reason, but there was no personality issues. No one was, you know, being a pain in the ass. You know, there was no
ego trips.
nothing.
Yeah.
I
It's always
mean,
good.
And they, you know, we could have done like a rotating headliner or something like that, but they insisted we headline, and I appreciated that a lot. That was really,
okay. I should ask that question.
yeah. I mean, that was super cool of them. They really deserve all the credit for the whole thing happening at all. It wouldn't have happened without them.
Can you do your King of Hell impression real quick? Will you do that?
Oh, no.
Yeah, I know you won't, but that would be hilarious.
No, I better not do that. I mean, I don't even know what difference it would make. I just don't want to get the people who told me the story to get in trouble on the back. No, yeah. What was I going to say? Oh, yeah. In the middle of all this, when we were driving out of Prague, we got to go to the Kutna Hora, which was that ossuary, that church that's made of all the bones. You know, the famous one.
Yeah.
We got to go to that.
Patrick, what a cool sight! Wow.
Patrick actually got us all. He put Imprecation in just one van. We were kind of halfway split up, and he's just like, "Okay, everybody reconfigure." He took us there just so we could see it and take pictures in there. Oh, well, I'll tell you this story. This is funny.
Okay.
Zolrak was on his own, following us around through parts of the tour, and then like breaking off and doing other stuff. We get to Kutna Hora, which is in the middle of nowhere. You know, it's like a little town. And it was so hilarious because we're like going to the gift shop right outside before we went into the chapel. And the chapel's not that big, even though it's full of fucking bones. I mean, it's like floor to ceiling, like femurs and skulls just crammed into cubbies. It's incredible. And we're getting our tickets to go in, and we're like buying some souvenirs ahead of it. And he just comes around the corner like an NPC in a video game, and he goes, "Hey, if you guys want to go in there's nobody in there right now. You got to go in before this big tour package comes in. If you want to like take pictures and stuff, go on in." And we're like, "Okay." And then he just walked around the corner again and just disappeared. He like apparently just got in his car and drove away. He'd already seen it, but it was just like the most hilarious thing. He was like giving us.
Well, did you not know he was there?
No,
it just came out
no,
of
he
nowhere.
just suddenly said, "Oh,
Like a carless man.
and then left. You know, like you said, it was like a character in a video game giving you a quest item.
Yes.
We're like, what the fuck? And he was right. We went in there and like it was so hilarious because we went inside and it's not that big. Like I said, you go down. It's like a basement almost. It's like a big. It wasn't a. It's like a church and it had like steeples and all that stuff. But then you go down in it and down to the lower floor and that's where all the bones are and the big bone chandelier and all that stuff. And no one else was in there. It was like a couple of people floating around, but literally, other than that, nobody else was in there. So they told us at the desk, please don't take any photos. And we're like, okay, go downstairs, immediately start taking photos, like kind of just click, 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 click,
Oh yeah, you gotta get that shit.
Oh yeah, so we got photos of the band with all the bones and all that. That's all on our social media. But anyway, and then this giant package of just tourist normies all came piling in there. We're like, oh shit, we're leaving. But
we're out of here now.
Yeah, but thanks to Zolrak for giving us the warning.
Video game quest.
Yes.
Guy. This comes out of nowhere.
It is dangerous to go alone. Take this.
Yeah. You might want to stop here before you go there and get.
Yes. But he did that a couple of times to us. He just kind of materialized, and it was so funny, But
was he selling merch and all that, or was he just following the tour?
No, he's just following us around, and going and seeing other people, and then going to SteelFest and all that stuff.
I swear, dude, Carlos must be one of the most dedicated dudes to metal.
Hell yeah, he really is.
He
really is. He
wow.
just lives it. He just lives it full time.
He puts it numero number one in his fucking life, dude.
Yeah, it's amazing. But yeah, so I'm trying to think of anything else I can say about it. I'm gonna need to go in a little bit. I'm still.
Yeah, me too. I got some things I want to do tonight.
Yeah.
Before everything closes and shit.
Yeah, and I'm still fighting off a little bit of jet lag because.
Have you been working all this week?
Yes.
You're off tomorrow, though, right?
Yeah. I got home on.
Sleep.
I got home on Monday. Had to go to work on Tuesday. We all had to do that. It sucked. But luckily the jet lag wasn't that bad. My hint to any of you guys, because I used to have a terrible time with jet lag, is when you get to your destination, don't sleep. Just tough it out. Stay awake till at least about 10 o'clock the night of where you arrived. Then go to bed and you'll
get your body clock.
Yeah, you'll find that you'll reset a lot quicker. I would do this thing in the old days where I'd get to where I was going and collapse and sleep like my normal nighttime during the day of the first day, and then I'd be all fucked up. Yeah. So it's definitely worth it. Amazingly, I'll tell you something. Europe. Last thing I'll say is Europe has changed a lot in terms of being cooler about shit. Like they used to be so rigid about everything, and
we got the European Union maybe loosened all that up, or what?
I think it's a little of that. I think it's a little bit of
or just culture changing.
Culture changing, because now they're kind of. I mean, admittedly, all these countries are becoming a lot more cosmopolitan. And have a lot of kind of foreign influence. And I kind of feel like when you show up and you look vaguely like they do, they're cooler to you than they used to be.
I get what you're saying.
I don't know if that's all of it, but that felt like at least part of it. They're not going to stab me, They
don't hate us, obviously.
Yeah. They might eat pork, that kind of thing. But yeah, we showed up at our hotel at 8 a.m. Aaron, come on.
Aaron's this meeting.
Yeah, you don't care.
You could care less.
Yes. We showed up at 8 a.m. to the hotel in Munich, and they let us in. They gave us a room like right away.
No
even though
shit.
check-ins at 3.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
You know, we couldn't believe
In America,
it.
they tell you to fuck off.
Yeah, yes. Oh, the rooms
Yeah,
aren't
we're
clean.
not open till 3.
Yeah,
No, nothing till 3.
yeah.
The fuck am I gonna do for 8 hours, man?
Yeah, the guy whose room you're taking is still beating off in there. You know.
Yeah. They just have a whole fucking hotel
Yeah.
rooms available, but they're just don't want to do
Yeah,
it.
yeah. No,
Yeah.
they let us in like that was like the normal policy. I didn't even have to ask them to do it. They said, "Oh, your room's ready now. You can have it." We're like, "Oh my god, thank you." You know.
And not charge you an extra day.
Yeah,
or some
yeah.
bullshit.
I'm telling you though, man, I would have paid it because we did go up and take a nap, you know, like a couple hours and then got up and then ate an awesome
Oh,
schnitzel.
shit.
And then we were good.
I take a damn nap every day at this point.
Yeah. So anyway, but yeah, I mean, I can't say enough about the tour. I can't say enough about the experience. It's amazing that the underground, you know, it is still there. It really is. I mean, we did something that was really independent, really small, really only meant for a select group of people, and they found us and they came out and really supported it the way it was intended. And I thought that was just fantastic in 2025 that that's still possible. Yeah, I'll take you up on it. Thank you for your invitation. I don't know when I'm going to Philadelphia. Their scene kind of sucks, but
Kind of been like that for a long time.
yeah, I played there a couple of times.
Well, see,
I hated it.
I don't know if I explained it. Miss Anthropy is Lee from Warhammer 666.
Yes.
I don't know if you knew that or not.
Yeah, I
but
did.
They're very cool people.
Yeah,
Very cool.
yeah, absolutely.
Where's Lee? Is he probably writing music or something?
Yeah. But yeah, anyway, it was more of a statement than I think any of us intended to make. But once like I said, once I stood back from it a couple of shows in, I think when we played that really obscure show in Switzerland, I went, this is something that we're doing that is, you know, meaningful in terms of an old way and, you know, kind of reviving that old current. And I was really proud of that. But
yeah, because you've done this twice now.
Yeah.
Kind of, you know, what is it? DIY, pretty much style, you know, European tour.
Yeah.
That's
And
cool.
I mean, not the easiest thing to do. Think about how big that market is. Think about what you're competing against. You know, we had shows banging around on both sides of us.
Like,
you know,
like you said, and then they're so used to fests, like people really don't want to go out to a local show.
Yeah. I mean, but a lot of them did. Enough of them did to make it count. And
He said already Poland, Aaron.
Poland, yeah, Katowice was the best show, followed close second by Italy.
Really?
I mean, SteelFest was awesome, but that was a fest versus a club show, so it's two.
Yeah, that's totally different vibe going on.
Yeah, Vienna was fantastic too. Monday night Vienna, 150 people. And that room was not that big, so it was like, you know, really great feeling in there.
Vienna, is that the water? Not the water, but the one that's, you know, pretty much submerged. Am I thinking of the right
Vienna?
Italian
No, that's
city?
Vienna's Austria. You're thinking.
See, that's how much I know about my European geography.
This killed me. It's neither here nor there, but TT
Venice, thank you.
Yeah, Venice, thank you.
Yeah.
TT of Abigor lived about 3 blocks away from where we played, and I had invited him to the show. I always wanted to meet him. And then, like, the day after we played the show, he pops up on my messenger and is going, "Oh, I didn't know," and blah blah. He didn't check his messages for like 3 fucking months, even though I had like invited him out and told him he was on the list and everything. And I was so sad for that. I really, really wanted to meet him. That would have been amazing. I was like, "You lived in the neighborhood?
You could have walked through it."
Like, how did you not know? Jesus, you know, I was kind of giving him a hard time about it.
We're gonna have to call some bullshit on that.
Yeah, I know.
Sometimes it's those people that, like, they see the message but they don't read it. So
Yeah.
We're calling you out, buddy.
Yeah. Anyway, that was a near miss, and I was sorry for that. You know, the other thing that I'll just say quickly is that there had been an off chance that Tom G. Warrior was going to come to that show in Liestal, Switzerland. and he wasn't able to make it. He actually had rehearsals for Triptychon, getting ready for MDF, which they're playing this weekend.
Yeah.
But he was planning to come out if he didn't have the rehearsal sessions. And admittedly, as much as that would have just been fantastic to perform for him and have him see that, I think just the sheer weight of his presence in that tiny room would have been overwhelming. I don't think the audience would have been able to concentrate, you know?
Oh, shit.
It would have been so surreal.
You think Mortiz was a thing?
Oh, yeah. Like, Tom G has the gravity of Jupiter. I mean, you know, he's like the Thomas Jefferson of extreme music, you know? So, let's see. Slipknot part got me off guard. Some of the decimal. Okay, thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah, the Immolation book. Yeah, I've been touting that on here, of course.
Yeah, we did a whole show on that one.
Yeah, the Slipknot guys were fans way back before Slipknot was a thing, and they actually, you know, really did a lot to try to support Immolation and spread the word. So for that, I'll give them credit. Looking back at the book, it was so funny because so many times I got swooped in to make like critical commentary about what was happening. Like when, you know, not necessarily criticizing them per se, but just like talking about kind of like the difficult moments and having that insight. And I'm going, there's going to be people out there going, I don't believe that he's actually a fan of this band. He seems like he's kind of down on them. And I told Ross that after I finished reading the book, and he goes, dude, you know, he's like, we read the manuscript. We wanted that in there. We wanted your honest opinion about those moments, you know? So, I mean, it was all by design, but I felt so self-conscious. I kept reading and going, oh, they put that in there. Oh, they put that in there. You know? But I mean, I filled in a lot of critical points of the comprehensive history, and I was really proud of that. So,
oh well, shit.
But yeah,
that's great. They fucking love you anyway. So
yeah.
But
yeah, just getting back to Tom G. I wish I don't have a picture of that room, but it was literally the size of a bedroom, and I'm just imagining him standing at the back of the room and just his presence just steamrolling the whole room, you know, and all these, you know, metalhead, you know, Switzerland kids who are just like, you know, Swiss fans who, you know, live and die by Celtic frost. And they're just like, he's right there, you know.
It would have been a distraction. Yeah.
I mean, it would have been great and intense, and I wouldn't have minded it one bit, but you know what I'm saying, you know, it's like, I was like, oh man, that would have changed the whole vibe, you know.
It'd be a weird, you know, in a small room like that. A weird
thing,
You're headbanging, you look up, and Tom G's like literally right there.
Yeah.
That'd be surreal for sure.
Yeah. Well, we're gonna get to actually make good on it in Brazil in September. If you guys,
what's going on there?
Yeah. A couple of things I'll mention. We're playing in Brazil at the Setembro Negro Festival, and that is gonna. I'll talk about that more over the summer. That's gonna be ridiculous. Imprecation's playing, Triptychon playing their Celtic Frost set. They're gonna headline.
That's always great. Yeah,
that is gonna be nuts.
No Daisy Dukes.
No, just diehards. And I don't think Celtic Frost ever played Brazil. I don't know if Triptychon ever played Brazil. I gotta look that up, but I think it's gonna be.
People are gonna go nuts.
It's gonna be insane. I'm actually gonna go down into the crowd and get hurt for that one, you know. But that's going to be amazing. We're also playing with Beharit in September, if you didn't know that already.
Sold out, right?
Sold out. We're direct support for Beharit at White Oak Music Hall. It's not even worth talking about now. If you didn't get a ticket, you ain't going. So,
Necron missed out. I'm not going.
Oh,
I waited too long.
Oh, damn. Yeah, and
it is what it is.
That's pretty great that a show sold out in May and it's not even until September. You know?
Yep,
that's going to be insane. We're really, really excited about that too. I'll be talking about that later and telling stories about that. Anyway, thank you guys for showing up as always and just letting me, you know, enthuse and. Like I said, please get out there and support Backsack Sax. They're a cool band, and They came to the States once already. They did that mini tour, and a lot of people got to catch that, and I thought that was
Yeah,
really cool.
I caught that, and I thought it was fucking killer.
Yeah.
Great atmosphere band. Yeah.
I mean, real keyboards. I love that. You know.
Oh,
That,
fuck yeah. And not done, goofy or anything.
No,
It's
not
really
fruity.
Has a creepy fucking element to it. Dark.
Yeah, lots of atmosphere, just really transportive, and yeah, I can't say enough about them. Great guys, great band, just great. Period. So check them out. Go to SteelFest if you haven't. I've already reported on it before. It's a great festival. You can't lose. Going to Finland is really a fun thing to do.
Yeah.
No downside. Hail to Italy, hail to Poland, hail to all the places we played. Thank you to all the fans who came out from all those countries. That was just magnificent. This is the first time I've gotten to kind of make a public statement about it. So
Yeah, I didn't really want to talk to you about it because I like hearing it fresh, on the show.
Yeah.
So that's why I didn't tell me about it or this and that.
Yeah,
Nah, I want to hear it on the show.
Yeah. And
Speaking of shows, I'm gonna do my
go ahead.
plug here. This is
sweet.
This is not SteelFest, but this is here in town on the June 7th. Hexea, Pies Levis, ETD, Cutthroats at High Tones. 10
Oh,
bucks.
nice.
So that's gonna be a cool little show.
That looks like a fun place to play. I've not played High Tones yet or been there.
Yeah, it's very intimate, so it'll be a cool. I played there. It's cool.
Oh, that's cool.
And
That's
I like this lineup too, so it's going to be a fun
yeah,
show.
absolutely. That's nice. Hope that goes well. I will be sleeping. Well, no, that's a couple weeks away, but I'll be sleeping then too.
All right, you got the seal of approval from fucking Mighty Joe Young from
Right on.
Australia. Cool
Oh,
stories,
thank you, Joe. Appreciate
Joe's
it.
a cool dude. Yeah.
Much appreciated.
Can you hang around real quick once I
Yeah.
exit out the show? I want to ask you something.
Sure. Yeah, we're gonna like talk amongst ourselves here behind
Yeah.
your backs.
Now we're going to do all the cheesema. All right.
Yeah.
Well, that's it, Jeff. Thanks for coming on.
Can we close it out with one more?
Yeah. Which one do you want me to play?
Demon Sea played, and I just wanted to send this out to them. They old friends, and in case you're wondering, no,
People are asking.
I'm not
answering.
in the I'm not in the lineup. There was logistics issues, and quickly, I made the executive decision. I said, look, I don't want this to get in the way. I don't want it to stop you or screw anything up. So I'm going to step away before this even becomes a problem. They went ahead and stripped down to a 3-piece. I think it was the right choice because it's, Exithra and VJS back in action together the way it should be. So you're
Kind of
welcome.
like-
You know?
Yeah. Can't really complain about that, right?
Yeah.
Shit.
Yeah.
All right, let's play it, and then on the other end of the song, we will be out of here.
All right, guys. Thanks a bunch.
Thanks.
Colonel Sanders, you're wrong. Mama's right.
Something wrong with his medulla oblongata.